Michael Jackson, the king of pop, who's 50 years old.
The voice of grunge music takes his own life.
Why is it sad? He's away from all of this bad stuff that's here on earth.
Found God. Because cops give a damn about a need.
We look at death from a selfish side, like, you know, that guy died. Oh, it's so sad. Why is it sad? He's away from all of this bad stuff that's here on earth. At the worst, he's just somewhere quiet, no nothing.
Who's next?
So another famous death that happened in Las Vegas was TUPAC Shakur. There is some evidence that suggests that he never actually died and he may have in fact faked his own death. In 1996, he was gunned down and shot approximately 13 to 14 times.
Supposedly.
Right? Now, there is there is some evidence that suggests that he never actually died and he may have in fact faked his own death. It is believed that he may have left us a lot of Easter eggs in his own music and album art as well. The title of his last album, Machiavelli, was named after Machiavelli, the Italian writer.
It was named after, not actor. It was named after Machiavelli.
After. And the reason why he named it after him was that he looked up to Machiavelli. He was really inspired by him, and hence why he decided to name one of his albums after him. Machiavelli himself wrote, "To fool one's enemy, fake one's own death." Ooh. I mean, it's pretty well known that Tupac himself was pretty heavily involved in the gang world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean...
Growing up in the ghetto.
In the ghetto, yeah. I mean, he was a poor kid, right? Grew up without a dad, just his mom, and, you know, got involved in a lot of drugs and bad shit, and, you know, I mean, he was a target for sure, especially as he got more and more famous. He was definitely a target, and I guess more of a reason to kind of want to disappear out of the limelight.
Yeah, get away from all that.
Yeah, exactly.
All the hatred.
So the sleeve itself on the Machiavelli album had the words "Exit Tupac," which to some people implies a new alter ego, Machiavelli, is about to take over. So there's actually a new show on Netflix. What the heck is
No,
it
it's
called?
the Netflix sound, right?
So there's actually a new show on Netflix. It's called Unsolved. It's about the Tupac and Biggie murders. Have you ever actually seen it?
No.
No?
Been meaning to watch it ever since I heard of it a few seconds ago.
Oh, okay, for sure. It's definitely something else. You gotta watch it. It's actually is a really good show. It like kind of shows bits and pieces of like the investigation.
Is it specifically about the two of them, Tupac and Biggie?
Yeah. It kind of goes back and forth to like the Tupac and Biggie murders, and it kind of like shows bits and pieces of their lives and like what they went through and how they were, like I said, targets. And it also shows like two sides of the investigation. So the original investigation, which was never solved, and then they reopened the investigation in the 2000s, and then again never solved it. Because there's just simply not enough evidence to prove that Suge Knight killed Tupac Shakur. So now another reason why maybe suggests that Suge Knight actually killed Tupac Shakur, or suggests that Tupac Shakur actually faked his own death, was the fact that Suge Knight, being a pretty big, like 6'3", 6'4" dude, out of 14 shots, was not even hit once. He was driving the car. So either...
That's a pretty easy target.
Right? Yeah. I mean, like you're literally sitting next to me. Like, imagine I'm the one getting shot. Like, not even one of those bullets is going to even, like, graze you.
Right.
Like, not even nick you at all. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. That seems strange. So either the assassin had really, really good aim, or...
It was a setup!
Something happened!
You just don't give a fuck about your typos. You're just like going
because
on.
I know what
you know what the word is.
I know what the word is, yeah. So I'm just like, fuck it.
Well, I think there's a possibility that Tupac faked his own death just to get away from all the shit that he was involved in.
I think it's a possibility. I mean, there was a huge gang war that was kind of starting to happen between the Bloods and the Crips, the East and the West. Yeah. Especially at that time when Tupac was very much against Biggie. Right? If you know the history of...
Weren't they like friends or something though?
Originally they were friends, yeah. And then Tupac hooked up with, I don't even really remember. If you watch the show, it'll actually explain to you like what kind of happened, how the war kind of started. But one ended up on the Bloods, and then the other one ended up on the Crips, and they were also on 2 different record labels, right? And they just had a lot of beef between each other, right? So here's another strange thing that kind of suggests that it is possible that Tupac did fake his own death. Every show that he would do, or anytime he would go out, usually in public, he would wear a bulletproof vest. This was probably the one time that he didn't, which to me is like, oops, I forgot my bulletproof vest. Oh, I'm dead. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. That just seems weird to me, right? It's like if you know people are after you and you normally wear a bulletproof vest, and it's like your war is at its absolute height at that time, why wouldn't you wear your bulletproof vest? Right? I mean, you're fucking rich. You can afford like 3 bulletproof vests, right? Like,
at least.
And a bulletproof car at the same time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Another weird thing is that the coroner actually listed Tupac's height as being 72 inches or 6 feet and his weight as 215 pounds, while his driver's license identified him as 5'10" and 168 pounds. Which Tupac at that time was already an adult. So realistically, like, are you gonna manage to grow an extra 2 inches?
That's a big difference.
There's what, 12 inches in a foot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes 2 inches, right? So it's like, I don't know. That unless on their driver's license they made a stupid error and put 5'10" on his license, but in fact he was like 6 feet.
Hadn't gotten updated in a few years. 47 pounds is a lot.
That's
47 pounds with
yeah,
2
that's
inches.
a pretty noticeable difference. Right? I mean, Tupac wasn't really he wasn't a big guy. He was no biggie, right? So he was no biggie. That's for sure. There's been a lot of sightings of Tupac over the years that suggest that he is actually alive, and maybe he's trying to show himself to us, right?
Yeah, they had a hologram.
There was a hologram.
He was jealous and he wanted to come back out.
Right?
I could do better.
It's like I've been replaced by myself, right? By my own hologram, I've been replaced, right? But who better than the original Tupac? Another thing is these photos that show him taking pictures with 50 Cent, Rihanna. What? There was this one picture of it was a selfie, and it was relatively recent because you can tell by the clothes he was wearing. Somebody actually pointed out that the jacket was like a 2015 model, and this selfie looked legit, exactly like Tupac. Like it was Tupac.
Whoa.
Right, and it's like, I don't know. And this photo was popping up all over the place. Right. So, and again, a lot of people, when they hear that or they see pictures, they seem to think that, oh, he's alive and maybe he did fake his death or he never died under whichever circumstances. Right. Another theory is that he is actually rapping as a persona Casanova. Here's the weird thing about the words Machiavelli and Casanova. So if you look at the words Machiavelli, you'll see that the first 2 letters and the last 5 letters backwards spell am alive.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you see the middle letter in between both of those words, you'll see that there's a letter K, which could very well stand for Casanova. Have you ever heard Casanova's music before?
No.
Okay. Like, it's the eeriest
It's been 16 years, still stuck in the
thing. He raps a lot about Tupac. He raps about a conspiracy theory about his death, about how he never actually died.
Oh.
You said that I died, but I'm still breathing.
His rap style and his voice are relatively and eerily similar to that of Tupac's.
Wow.
Right? Like, he actually, if you're sitting and listening to his music and you don't look at any of the video or pictures or whatever, you might actually think that it's Tupac.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It happened with Steve the other day, actually. He's like, is this... But at first he's like, is this Biggie? I'm like, no. He's like, Tupac?
That's a pretty big
I'm like,
difference.
no, but a lot of people think he is Tupac, so...
You were doing research for your video?
For what?
For this video.
Was I?
Yeah. I've never heard of Casanova before, so I just figured.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I was looking all over the place. Whatever was most credible information, I obviously included in this video.
Only the best for you.
Only the
Two.
best. So what do you think about the Tupac thing? You think it's possible that he faked his own death?
Everyone that I talk to talking about Tupac thinks that he's alive. So I mean, fans probably know in their hearts that he's still there.
I mean,
around. He's in He's in Tahiti.
He's in Tahiti? No, a lot of people actually suggest that he's in Cuba, and the reason why they say
Fiji.
Cuba...
Fiji's what I was thinking of.
Fiji?
Yeah.
Why Fiji?
I don't know. People say that. I don't know.
They say Fiji?
I don't know. That's a water bottle company, or is it?
Yeah, that's a water bottle company. It's a real
Don't
place,
listen to
but
me.
it is a water bottle company as well.
So Tahiti's the one?
No, it's actually Cuba.
Oba.
Cuba is the one that people suggest, and the reason why is because his aunt, I believe, she committed a murder of a state trooper somewhere in the United States, and so obviously she was wanted for murder, and she ran and basically left the United States and got asylum in Cuba.
No
Right?
extradition.
So, I mean, for a long time, Americans were not able to go over to Cuba. So it would make sense for an American who's hiding out, like Tupac, trying to get away from everything, maybe would have actually went to Cuba to hide there, because nobody from America would ever actually go and see him there.
Right.
They would never know he's there. So it kind of makes sense to me. I don't know. I think that one's plausible. What do you think?
I believe so.
You think so?
I think that's true.
Tell us in the comments below.
Don't talk about my shiny forehead in the comments below. Who's next?
Up next, we have the legendary frontman of Nirvana.
Ooh. Didn't everybody say that he shot himself with a shotgun?
Yeah.
Some people said that. Some other people said it was Courtney Love.
The voice of grunge music takes his own life.